Thank you, Gov. And good morning, good afternoon to everyone. Let me just start by giving you a bit of an update about the work of the Reopening Advisory Board. Since launching last week, the board has met literally through back-to-back Zoom sessions. I just want to say how grateful we are, both Secretary Keneally and I in the governor's office, for this enormous contribution that these individuals, business leaders, industry leaders, are giving to our Commonwealth to analyze, study, meet with, listen to business leaders and community leaders from all over our Commonwealth. It was a really interesting weekend as the weather was beautiful outdoors. We were literally with each other, listening and then having time to discuss what we heard back to back over the course of those days. And we've become like a family, really supporting each other, getting to know one another, and it's really a incredible process, but it's really just amazing people, smart, talented, engaged people that are helping us make these decisions. As the governor said, we've had the opportunity to meet with the diversity of our economy in terms of from retail to restaurants, from the CDCs to real estate groups to the banking community and credit unions to our Black and Latino Commission sharing their thoughts and ideas with us. I have to say I'm extremely impressed with the of thinking, analysis, and preparation that employers are engaged with as they think about what their workplace looks like in a reopened COVID environment. We've asked them to present to us around their readiness, and given the particular nature of their work, some have a readiness level that is different than others. We've asked them to talk about the barriers in terms of how do they make their workplace safer, incorporating in physical distancing, how they're going to do that, what are the things they're going to do to make their employees feel comfortable and safer returning back to work? What are some of the key enablers that they know are important for their workforce to be able to even return to work, like, as the governor said, childcare and transportation. We also heard a lot about remote work, the effectiveness of that, and also the longing for that personal, physical connection that comes with having a workplace environment to share and engage with one another. I'd also just like to say that as we develop our ideas with these business and community leaders and with the members of the advisory board, it will be very similar effort to what you've seen with the COVID command response. It's a team effort, as Secretary Sutters has led that team and really coordinated the functions of that response. It will be a similar path forward, working as a team. The advisory board, our administration, and business and community leaders all across our Commonwealth, and clearly working with our municipal partners who ultimately will be the ones to have to understand what the safety provisions are for the workplaces that do open up for services and employment as time goes on. As the governor said, I mean, an amazing amount of engagement. The engagement comes with these Zoom presentations, also comes with one-on-one meetings, and also reviewing submissions that hundreds of people have given to our board to look at. Over 100,000 businesses, 1.4 million workers from across the Commonwealth so far. I'd like to just speak a little bit about what we've heard. There seems to be some with an understanding that May 18th is a magical date. May 18th is the date that we said the report of this advisory board will be released. If you look at other states around the country, some state governments have already issued reopening plans. Our plan will be released on that date, which will outline a phased-in reopening across our Commonwealth. And phased in means just that. Some industry sectors will be more ready than others. And even within an industry sector, there might be components of that industry that can begin first and then eventually build out to full capacity. So that's what May 18th is. It doesn't mean that the economy across our Commonwealth will just reopen. It's just not possible, as everybody knows. Safety is first. Employers are engaged, and it's of paramount importance that we make sure that the workforce is safer, that people who do business with these employers are safe in their transactions, and that we continue to move forward and not have a reverse effect as we reopen in that safe manner throughout our Commonwealth. I'd just like to also acknowledge that we've heard from a lot of people so far, and we will continue to hear over the course of this next week. But there is a level of anxiety and a level of sense of urgency in industry as employers are struggling to make their business operation continue to operate in this environment. So these are indeed challenging times for the business community of our Commonwealth. Almost 24% of our workforce unemployed, and we understand, the board understands, our administration understands that the work that we're doing is really important, but we need to do it right, it needs to be safe, and it needs to really reflect what we view as the proper and appropriate and safe way to allow for more business opportunities across our Commonwealth when the time comes.